Let's get serious. Habaki!
What is going on, everybody? NussLoverXOX here, and welcome to another Call of Duty video that I've been meaning to make for a while. I haven't made this yet since I haven't felt the need to, because I feel like everybody knows my position on it already. But I wanted to make the video because if you're new to the channel or you don't know much about me, well, here's the 411 and how I feel about this. What I'm talking about today is going to be the what everyone is calling the censorship of Call of Duty World War II, the censorship of the swastika and the inclusion of women in multiplayer. And I wanted to give my two thoughts on it. First of all, let's talk about the swastika. And how I feel about it is I think Sledgehammer delivered in the way that I would like them to have delivered. The campaign should be 100% historically accurate, and that's exactly what it is in Call of Duty World War II. There's swastikas, there's Nazis, there's everything you can expect. It's all historically accurate in campaign, which is exactly what I wanted it to be, and it's exactly what it should be. It's campaign. It's meant to tell a story of World War II, and that's what it's meant to do. Campaign should be historically accurate. The zombies, they're not including the swastika in. I mean, it's alright that they're not including the swastika in, but, it doesn't bother me too much. Maybe it's like some kind of fringe group of, like Group 935. I don't know. It doesn't bother me that there's no swastika in zombies because it's zombies. If that makes sense, like it's like a whole otherworldly kind of thing. Like, we're talking about fucking zombies here. Like, the inclusion of the swastika in zombies is not necessary to convey a story or a plot or anything of that nature. Now, where everybody's pissed off is in the multiplayer. And they're pissed off about two things. They're pissed off about not including the swastika, which again is included in the campaign, which is where it should be included and where it should be historically accurate. But it's not being included in multiplayer because Michael Condrey has said that they want to be what's the word he used? They want to be inclusive or something. I believe it was inclusive, sensitive, something like that. And they also in multiplayer will be allowing you to play as any race and two of the many genders that there are, male and female, and everybody's having a shit fest about it because that's not historically accurate. There weren't black female Nazis in World War II. It wasn't a thing because that's not historically accurate. That's what you sound like. If you haven't already picked it up by now, I think this is a great move by Sledgehammer because it's being inclusive to a part of the game that doesn't need to be historically accurate. I have always felt that, and I feel like this way about Destiny. I've always felt like the campaign and the multiplayer should be completely and totally separate entities. I mean, look no further than Black Ops 3 to realize this. The campaign and the multiplayer should be completely and totally separate. Just because the multiplayer isn't historically accurate and you get your panties in a bunch because you very well may be a racist, sexist piece of shit who doesn't want inclusion of blacks or minority groups or LGBT people or women in your multiplayer games, which you should take a look at yourself and do some introspective thinking if that's what you think, and then use the guise of, well, it's got to be historically accurate. It's got to be historically accurate. It doesn't matter whether it's historically accurate. It's multiplayer. I use the argument a lot when I talk about this is when I'm talking about Battlefield 1, right? I don't play Battlefield 1, not because Battlefield 1's a bad game, I don't play Battlefield 1 because I can't play as a female. And that's the main reason I don't play Battlefield 1. Don't get me wrong, Battlefield 1's a great game. It plays well. It's a fun game. It's fun to hop on with friends every once in a while, but I don't play Battlefield 1 as much as I would otherwise if I could play as a female and customize my character, which, I mean, that's a whole other argument about the fact that Battlefield's character customization is shit, but the fact that I can't play as a female in Battlefield 1's multiplayer has drawn me away from it personally, because I want to project myself as a character into the game. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain games where playing as a male protagonist is part of the game. Dead Rising as a perfect example. You know, you can't not play Frank West, so you have to play Frank West. Like, you're playing as someone else. Playing as another character is fine with me. You know, Frank West, Chuck Green, fucking, I'm trying to think of other franchises other than Dead Rising, where you play as a specific character that is a male character. Splinter Cell, you play as Sam Fisher. You know, you're playing as someone else. The problem I have is when you're forced to play as, quote, yourself, right? Because Battlefield 1, you're playing as yourself, but you're forced to be a male because historical accuracy. That's where I have the issue, is when you have to play as yourself, but you have to play as a male. That's a problem with me. And that's where Call of Duty World War II is saying, no, this is multiplayer, this is not campaign. And I think it's a great move. I think it's 120% the right move, because people can latch onto their character in the way that it identifies with them. Now, you know, to be fair, I'm a trans girl, so, you know, you can't play as a trans girl. It doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me too much. I don't even think there's video games with trans girls in them. Apparently there's one in Street Fighter, but I've never played Street Fighter. But I think it's a great move by Sledgehammer, and the whole historical inaccuracy debate. I want to go back to I want to go to another argument I use when talking about historical accuracy and realisticness when it comes to multiplayer. Now, don't get me wrong, campaigns should be totally realistic and shit, but the problem I have with the multiplayer being realistic is, let's take a look at Star Wars Battlefront, right? The new Star Wars Battlefront coming out, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Everybody's having a shitstorm because the new Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know, they were seeing Rey fighting Darth Maul in Palace of Theed. They're like, oh, Rey was never at the Palace of Theed. Darth Maul died in Episode 1. What is all this about? This isn't canon. This isn't right. It's multiplayer. It's multiplayer. It's multiplayer. It's multiplayer. Like, the thing that people don't understand is that they can't reconcile the fact that campaign is for role-playing and for playing a character, and maybe that character is your character in the case of Mass Effect or Destiny, or actually not Destiny because that's the Ghost character, but you don't actually play your character, whatever. The point is, the campaign is the place where you role-play as your character in as the character that the game picks canonically in a story, right? The multiplayer is the place where you play as your character, in the case of Call of Duty or Battlefield or Star Wars Battlefront. That's where you play as your character that you customize in a battle style arena that has nothing to do with reality, physics, or anything, because that's the way that it has always been. That's the way that it has always worked. Like do you really think that these, you know, look at Modern Warfare 2, right? Do you really think these Spec Ops soldiers, there's 6 Spec Ops soldiers on one side of a fucking carnival, and then there's 6 Spetsnaz soldiers on the other side of a carnival, and then they fight each other, and then the more kills they get to call in a fucking nuke on a fucking carnival, a nuke? Like, I'm sorry, but No. You're trying to say that this is realistic, and you're trying to say that this is going to be realistic. And bringing it back to World War II, you know, just because you're saying, oh well, it's got to be historically accurate. Fucking Sledgehammer's already come out and said that the supply drops are not going to be historically accurate. They're going to be wild and crazy, which I think is fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong, I hate the supply drop system, and I think it needs to stop. Either it needs to stop, or they need to get rid of the map packs and just have all their shit be supply drop only. All go the Halo 5 or Overwatch route, where all your DLC is paid for by the supply drops. You can charge for the zombie map if you want, but whatever. I think that these little skirmishes and shit shouldn't be judged. The multiplayer shouldn't be judged on historical accuracy. That's basically what I'm coming to. So I have no problem with pink camos in the supply drops. I have no problem with anything. In fact, I prefer the pink camos. I would put the pink camo on my gun because I love pink. I think it's fantastic. I think flamboyance is great. And that's just me. And I should be allowed to do that in a video game in today's world. I should be able to, in 2017, be able to put a giant pink cat on the side of my gun that says, look how flamboyant and gay I am. I am fantastic. I should be able to put a fucking trans pride fucking flag on the side of my gun if I want to. In fact, I can in Black Ops 3. I think Sledgehammer's made a good move here. But I'm sure I'm in the minority here, but they're not gonna change it. So fucking, you guys are gonna have to deal with my fucking white girl Nazi kicking your ass in multiplayer. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. I'm sure you probably don't agree with me because most people in the Call of Duty community don't agree with me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
枪没子弹了。On me. I'm dry. Pressing the fight. We're ahead. UAV awaiting orders. UAV inbound. Objective parameters obtained. Well done.